Thanks for tuning in again to this channel, and thanks for subscribing. I'm getting more subscribers than I could possibly imagine. At the beginning of doing this, I just thought to myself, hey, I'm going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard. If somebody wants to listen, great. If they don't, you know, I'll do the channel for myself, but people are coming over. In fact, there's one video in particular I did talking about how Tulsi is in 4th place as far as being talked about, and CNN put these stats up, and when they did it, they literally skipped right over her. They didn't even mention her name, and she was number 4 on the board. Now, I'm not saying she's in 4th place, okay, just to be clear, but she is the 4th most, or was, according to this CNN thing that they did last weekend. I think it was called Power Rankings. Of course, CNN is fake news, but they can't... I don't think they can butcher statistics that much. They did gloss over it, so obviously it probably is true. So, in any event, yesterday, Tulsi Gabbard gave one of the best political speeches I've ever listened to. It was a little over a half hour, and it seemed to go by in like 5 minutes, because she has the ability to kind of build and then have this crescendo at the end where she brings home her key talking point, which is always going to be America's useless wars, okay, regime change wars. Specifically, we're doing it right now in Venezuela. She called out Pompeo and Bolton the other day. Mike Pence and Bolton, maybe, I'm not sure, the two, but it doesn't matter because they all kind of agree on the neocon strategy, and the fact that the power outages probably caused by the sanctions that we set up. New York Times reported the whole false flag thing where the humanitarian aid got burned up when it wasn't burned up by Maduro's people. It was burned up by the opposition. So some crazy stuff, and the United States just cites all this stuff as reason to, you know, topple one guy and install their puppet. And I used to think the whole war for oil thing was just a left talking point, but when it comes to Venezuela, they want the oil. We really, I mean, for American companies, and, you know, Trump, who did he appoint? Was it Tillerson initially? Which I just, you know, and I was a Trump guy from the beginning, and I said, I don't know, that's just, there's going to be a conflict of interest somewhere when Tillerson goes to an oil-rich country, and they don't have it, you know, where the camera is on, and he's going to talk to one of these guys about making some kind of a deal. Talk about getting into areas that the government should have nothing to do with. But this is why people call this a corporatocracy or a corporatist government, because it is, and it's been a corporatist government for a very long time, probably since, I don't know how far back you want to go. You could make the argument back to Reagan probably, but I think it got worse under George H.W. Bush, and then Clinton didn't touch anything. He left it alone, and then George W. Bush made it worse, and Obama kept it going. He just moved the, you know, he moved some stuff around, but he did mostly the same thing, just made it sound like he wasn't doing the same thing, and Trump campaigned on not doing this, but he's got Jared Kushner and Ivanka running the show. So anyway, Tulsi gives just an amazing speech where the audience responds. She's genuine. She's not at all reading off of a teleprompter. She's speaking from the heart. She has concern on her face. This is a different type of candidate. This is clearly, and it's amazing how little media attention she is getting. You hear about Kamala Harris all week long, too. You've been hearing about Beto, and Beto gave this speech where it was just all platitudes. There was nothing of significance in the speech. He's a neocon. He's a straight-up neocon. He could be a neocon for the right or the left. He's interchangeable, you know, and if that is the great hope because they see some sort of, electoral map where he's going to beat Trump, I'd be just as sorry for the country as if Trump wins again over Beto. I don't think I would have any issues moving forward. I want to see Tulsi Gabbard get to the place where she can get noticed, because her message resonates with everybody she speaks in front of. This crew in San Francisco absolutely loved her speech, and I've watched her in New Hampshire, and they love her speech. I've watched her in, I believe, Ohio or Iowa. I think it was Iowa, because that's an early battleground place for the primary. And again, no matter where she goes, and she doesn't water down or tailor her message or change her cadence, or Hillary Clinton one time actually changed the way she speaks. I think she went down south one time and she started doing this southern accent thing rather than speaking just the normal way she speaks. So this is a woman who's sincere, and the more I watch her, the more I'm impressed, and the more I think she could be President of the United States. So again, if you haven't seen the speech, it's actually playing on screen behind me. Just Google Tulsi San Francisco speech, and I don't know how you can really disagree with a lot of what she had to say. If you're not into the big social programs and things that she outlines, I get that. I come from a center-right perspective, but here's the deal. If we can save the trillions of dollars, I will hear anything out. At that point, she's got my attention if she can accomplish that. The other thing she did was she called out the military-industrial complex. And, I know Chris Matthews gets a thrill up his leg when Beto talks, apparently. This is his new binky, so to speak. When she talks about the military-industrial complex, she's referencing Dwight D. Eisenhower's speech. She's going way back. And she understands sort of the inside and what she's up against. And she's willing. See, Trump isn't willing to stand up to it. Trump, I think, got to a point and said, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going to do what my daughter and my son-in-law say to do because they're more into this than I am. That's the way I'm thinking. Trump just goes out there and tries to rattle, rev up his base and so forth. But I don't think he wants to play that game anymore. I don't think he wants to take one for the team. Tulsi has no fear. This is the big difference between her and all the other candidates. The other candidates, maybe Bernie might not, but I see Bernie did kind of fold up a little bit, though. When he was being challenged, he should have really fought for the nomination last time around. And that's where a lot of people have some worries about Bernie Sanders, is that he's not going to fight for this. And who knows, is he going to fight if it's him against Trump? Is he going to fight? Tulsi Gabbard has no fear, and she's going to go right in there and say to these people, hey, I know you've all been appointed by various administrations, or you got your job through a friend or something like that, but there's a new sheriff in town, and we're not doing this regime change war stuff anymore. I can tell you, if she can't do it, then our country is truly screwed. And it's not just about the left or the right. It has nothing to do with that at that point. We're screwed because we don't have any control. The people don't have control. If we elect somebody and we say, hey, we don't want to do this anymore, and they're unable to do it because a mechanism has prevented it, this giant industrial complex, it's corporations, it's military, it's all of these institutions that are aligned against normal people like you and I, then we're kind of screwed. And at that point, I'm not sure how you fix it. And, violence is a bad thing, and if it comes to that, it would be a scary, scary thing if it came to that, because look what's happening in France right now. Look at what the people are doing over there. I watched, Molotov cocktails and tear gas flying around yesterday, and it's horrifying. And we need to get this under control. And Tulsi is the best hope. and she's got the right temperament to do it. All right, done. Be back soon. See you then. Thanks for watching.